Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then hey, I'm Leah. So I wanted to hop on here and talk about dorm advice, living in a dorm your first time at college. So this video will be like general dorm life, living advice, and then I'll make another video about specific dorms and buildings and places to live in Binghamton. So if you're going to Bing and you're a freshman or a transfer student, subscribe down below because I post Binghamton and college videos all the time and you guys don't want to miss out. First thing about the dorms themselves, the beds are not comfortable in the slightest bit. So what you're going to want to do is get a mattress topper. I definitely recommend a 4-inch mattress topper. I started with a 2-inch. I thought 2-inch would be enough. It's really not. Even if they're a bit pricey, it will be worth it because that is where you're sleeping every single night. You'll probably be in a dorm at least freshman and sophomore year, so you really will get your money's worth from it. Next thing I would definitely say is to look for roommates that are compatible with you. Obviously, it is great to room with someone that you're friends with, and this is what I ended up doing, but we also knew, like, okay, we talked about it. We both like going to bed around like midnight on weekdays, but like we'll stay out later on weekends, like things like that. Like, you don't want to be living with someone that's your best friend, but they stay up till 4 a.m. watching YouTube videos and you sleep at 11. Like, that's gonna get tiring very quickly. So yeah, find preferably a friend or a person or someone that likes to sleep around the same time you do, likes to sleep in the same conditions you do, like things like that, and make sure you're like the same like level of clean, like whether you really don't care if the room gets a bit messy or you're just like you really need everything in its place. Like, these are things you have to talk about, but also be aware that things probably will change as you get to college, because my roommate and I both went in saying that we probably would try to sleep around like midnight every night, and that didn't happen. It basically became eventually one of us going to bed at 4 in the morning, staying up all night finishing work that we didn't do, and the other person sleeping at 11 p.m. because the night before they stayed up until 4 a.m. doing work, and it kind of just like flipped around, which happens. But at least if you start off like knowing that you have similar sleep schedules and similar habits, hopefully you'll be okay. But of course, it's a very different lifestyle that you're now living, and things are going to be a little different, and things about you are going to change, and that's okay if they do. Okay, another thing that I want to talk about are communal bathrooms versus bathrooms like in your room or your suite. So some places are going to have like public bathrooms for the floor, or like a bathroom that you share maybe like with 6 other girls or 6 other guys or something like that, and other places have a bathroom that you share with your suite, or literally like in a double, so just for you 2 people, you and your roommate, which I definitely prefer. I was lucky enough to live in a place that had a bathroom in my suite. I feel like that's so much easier because I could just leave all my stuff there. I don't have to worry about like taking all the stuff to the shower with me and bringing all my supplies. I just leave all of my shower stuff and the stuff, my makeup and the things I use to get ready in the morning, I could just leave in the bathroom, which is really nice. So I would say look into which buildings offer which type of bathroom and which setup if you really have a preference, because I think it is so much easier and more comfortable to have one in my suite or my double or whatever I'm dealing with. So having a room versus having a whole entire suite. A suite is basically a few rooms, 2 bathrooms, and then like a common area or like a kind of like living room area that you share among all the girls living in your suite. And if you're starting at Bing as a freshman, you only get to choose your roommate and not the other girls that live in the other rooms in your suite. You don't really know who you're gonna end up with, but honestly, like, I feel like a suite is so much better personally. If you need somewhere else to go and you want to sit somewhere else and study but not like be outside and running into other people, then you have that space to go. You don't have to just be in your room. It's a nice little extra space that you can hang out in and relax in. So I would definitely recommend looking into which buildings have doubles and singles and which buildings have suites if you want one of those. As for getting a double or a single within a suite, I would definitely recommend a double. I would recommend having a roommate freshman year, just because when you get there, it's really nice to have like a built-in friend right away to go out and explore everything with, have someone to go get meals with, and have someone to start this whole college thing with, so you're not by yourself. I definitely think it's a nice experience to have at the beginning of college. But that being said, it's definitely an adjustment if you've lived in your own room your entire life growing up like I did. You're honestly just gonna have to learn quickly how to communicate with the people that you live with, like your roommates and your suite mates, so you can avoid any major problems down the line, because the people you don't want to fight with are the ones that you're literally living with. Like, you're gonna go home at the end of the day and they're going to be in the bed 2 feet away from you, so you're gonna have to deal with it. And just talk about things before they're big enough to actually be major issues. Like, for example, one morning my roommate came in and was like, you left dishes in the sink last night and you didn't wash them out, and they've been there for like a day, like, can you please like wash things out like after you use them? And I was like, oh shit, like I get distracted easily and I totally forgot they were there, like that's my bad, I'm sorry. And like, it's not a problem, no one's offended, no one's upset. As long as you bring things up while they're still small issues, they will stay small issues. That being said, also, it's someone you want to pick your battles with. Like, if they come back late one night, later than you, and they're loud for one night and you hear them, like, if it's one night, I wouldn't even mention it, honestly. I would just deal with it. And if it becomes a pattern, they're keeping you up, then it's worth mentioning. But if something happens like once, I don't know, I think you have to choose what you want to possibly argue over, because as much as it is your room and where you're living, it's still their room too, so you're gonna have to talk about like having people over, having friends over, when that's okay, if people can sleep over, stuff like that, and just establish that early on so everyone knows kind of like what's going on and what to expect. Yeah, and it's basically just learning to compromise on things. Like, during high school, when I woke up at 6 a.m, I would blast music in the morning because I feel like it gets me hyped. I'm like excited for the day and I have a lot of energy in the morning usually, so that's what I would do. but going away, if my roommate and my suite mates aren't up at 8 in the morning and I have class at 8:30, I have to blast music in my AirPods and dance around my room that way. I also mentioned this in my freshman advice video, but leave your door open the first week of school to meet people. Some dorms make it easier to do this. Like in Dickinson where I lived, the rooms, like the dorms in the hallways, like this was one door and that was the other, like they're very spaced out. But some places like Newing, this is the door to a room and then this is the next door. So like honestly, if you're going to Bing, I would just do some research and like talk to people and just find out like which dorms have the qualities of things that you seem to like more. That setup in Newing with the doors like right near each other makes it way easier to meet people than it did in Dickinson with the doors being this far apart. But obviously like I still met people on my floor either way. It's just easier to have them that close. Wherever you do live, honestly, it's really what you make of it. They're all a lot of fun. If you like this video, make sure to leave a nice like, comment, and subscribe down below for so many more college videos to come, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys!